Well, hello, and welcome to the Connecting Point. I am Dr. Marcy Thurman Simmons, your facilitator for this discussion table today. Here's where we connect with creators, and hopefully we can inspire others. We share our stories and ideas to transform the world through raw, unedited talk. And today I am happy to see, number one, because I haven't seen her in a while, and I'm happy to be joined by Miss Crystal Mitchell, the I'm just going to say CEO of Elevate Nation, okay? And I'm going to let her tell you more about who she is in a few moments, but I want to say this. Girl, you're looking good.
Thank you so much.
You're looking refreshed in a pandemic, okay? And it's
God, thank you.
see you. Good to see you. Now, Crystal, can you tell a little bit about who you are and, importantly, your age, if you don't mind? Because this is I want young people to know it's being done all over this thing that we call life in creativity. But
absolutely.
Tell a little bit about who you are, where you're from. That's important. Where you're from, where you are now. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me today. I am super excited to be here and just grateful for us to be able to have this conversation. So thank you. So yes, my name is Crystal Mitchell. I am the Chief Elevate Officer with Elevate Nation. And man, it has been such an incredible journey. I hail from the classic city of Athens, Georgia. Go Bulldogs!
Yes, we're proud of Athens, baby. I'm so proud of my Athens people. Whoa.
Yes. Hailing from the classic city. And graduated from the University of Georgia in 2013. So that gives you a clue on my age. I am 29 years old. And came to Atlanta, spent some time here, and then moved to Chicago for a few years, and just actually moved back to Atlanta last June. So it's been a little bit over a year since I've been back in the city, and it has been such an incredible experience being back close to family and friends. So I'm super, super grateful to be home, close to home, here in Atlanta. And so I've always loved to dance, and I know we'll get into that a little bit more as we start to talk about how Elevate Nation birthed, but have always had a passion for dancing, a passion for people, connecting with people, talking to people about their stories, motivating and encouraging others. So it all just kind of came together, and it's here. So that's how
it's here. And I always like to give a little background so people will know how I connect with the other person on the other side of the camera here. Most of the people that come to this platform, yes, I know them for now. But I'm sure it will branch out. But one connection that Crystal and I have is her sweet, kind father.
Funny.
Hilarious. I love him dearly. And even though I haven't seen SL, we call him affectionately, Chucky is what we call him. SL Mitchell. He keeps us up.
Let him tell it.
Yeah, he keeps us up on what we're doing.
Right, and let him tell it. The SL stands for short leg, because he is pretty short. That's where I get my height from. But he'll have you laughing all day.
I love him. Lord have mercy. For years, our relationship go way back when we was little kids, and our parents. So that's the connection that I have with Crystal. But I also discovered a connection when we talked, when I reached out to you. We are on the same page as to the season that we're in right now. You know, you and I had a in-depth conversation about what is God doing. He is shifting some things, putting some things in place. Actually, they've already been there, but he's making us aware of our purpose here. And he is demanding that we walk in them. So, first of all, I want you to talk a little bit about how you discovered, first of all, what your purpose was. You've been several places, and now I believe, and I know from talking to you, you believe you are now in it. You're dead smack in the middle of your purpose. So can you talk about how you really knew that you were in your purpose area?
Absolutely. Wow. As soon as you asked me that question, I started to just have visions of how the dots have been connected in so many different areas of my life over the past few years. I think back to a conference I went to actually with the Kitt Institute, Jennifer Kitt. It was the Power Her Women's Conference. And I remember her asking us to write down what we thought our purpose was. And there was an entire exercise that went along with that. So we had to write down things like different circumstances that we've had in our lives, things that pulled on our heartstrings. We had to talk about our gifts, talents, our abilities, areas in our life where we've received confirmation from others on those gifts and talents, and how that's, working or coming alive in our day-to-day activities, our careers, our relationships. So how have we seen that really come to life? So I remember that conference and thinking about that. And I remember my statement that I left with was, well, I feel like my purpose is to encourage and motivate young women, girls in particular, high school girls, to be the best person or best version of themselves in their academics, in their relationships with their families, with their parents. That was what I felt like my purpose was at that point. So I feel like bits and pieces of that has definitely carried through to what I'm doing now. I've also loved to dance. I used to be on the step team. I stepped in high school, middle school, college. Still trying to step to this day. If you give me a stage, I'm gonna step for you. So all of that, I feel like just kind of, was happening and coming together. And this year, God gave me a vision in January. It was January 22nd. And he gave me the word elevate. And I was looking back at this journal entry the other day, and I just started writing sentences. I said, thank you, Lord, for elevating my finances. Thank you for elevating my career. Thank you for elevating my relationships. And elevate was in every single sentence. And I even went as far as drawing a picture of a t-shirt in the journal entry. And I just wrote elevate on the t-shirt. So I was like, okay, something is here. I just don't know what exactly it is. So, months go by, I get certified to be a Zumba instructor. And I started teaching online. I go live on Facebook and Instagram just to get the teaching equity up, because we were in the middle of a pandemic. So I couldn't go in a gym and teach anywhere. But I said, I still want to be able to connect with people, because that's always been a passion and a part of my gifts. I still want to motivate. I still want to encourage. I still want to help people feel like they're having the best day ever. And that's something that we now say at Elevate Nation. So fast forward to, the end of July, my company had involuntary layoffs, and I actually had the photo shoot for Elevate the next day, Elevate Nation. And 2 weeks later, we launched Elevate Nation, and I knew that it was all part of God's will and His purpose for me, because it happened so seamlessly. We're tying in what I heard back in January, and I was ready. It wasn't anything that I had to scramble for. I didn't have to do 100 push-ups or jumping jacks for it. It was just like, boom, here we are. So that's how I know, to answer your questions, I know that was kind of a long answer, but to answer your question, that's how I know I'm walking in the purpose right now, because it goes back to hearing his voice on the vision for me, and now seeing it come to fruition. And that's such a beautiful thing.
And you know, Crystal, when you were talking about writing it down, I said this in other discussions about the word imagination. And last year, like you, God tells me things and I have to write them down. But one way that he speaks to me is through others, through connections with others and connections of ideas and things. And one day, a friend of mine called me and she said, it was during the summer of last year. And she said to me, Marcy, this word imagination keeps coming up. It just keeps coming up. And she began to expound on what God was telling her about the word imagination. And at the moment in my life, I didn't know which angle I was wanting to go. I knew I needed something refreshing and new, and you know, and I always ask God, show me what you want me to teach the kids for the year. I don't go into the school year with I'm going to teach this lesson. I ask God to give me the entire year what you want me to focus on. So, okay, I love that. Started with that conversation, and she said, Marcy, you've got to use your imagination again. Now, I thought I've used it, but she kept, saying, use your imagination. Imagine that you're there. Imagine. And she made a call to me, I know, every other week or so, and it was always imagination. So that summer, I felt like I had a creator's block. That even I write scripts, songs, and they wouldn't come out of me that summer for the school. Yes, what in the world is going on? So the moment that I walked into the school, pre-planning week for the teachers, God said to me, it's imagination. You're going to talk to the kids about imagination only comes from me. And I give you what I want you to focus on. I give you imagination during your meditation time. And when I give it to you, I want you to write the vision and make it plain. And that's what that scripture ties to. Because after we get the imagination that comes from God, you can get some other stuff. But when you know it's from God, that imagination that comes from God, you write it down, and it will surely come at the right time. It won't tarry. And so I remember, some people might say I'm unorthodox, and I am, and I don't hide it. I am unorthodox in the classroom. But one day I said, okay, I'll do imagination. All the songs, he started giving them to me. Every song was about imagination as soon as I walked into that school building. But then I was trying to explain it to kids. And one day he said, you're going to have to explain it with my word. And I said, now, Lord, they don't like us to talk about the Bible in here. Give me a creative way to describe it. And guess what the creative way was? That very scripture in Habakkuk that God told me. He just told me to explain it where they can understand it. And I did. And make it plain. So when you started talking about writing it down, I remember that's what I've been doing. When I'm writing scripts, when I'm writing songs, I am writing the imagination, writing what he told me, okay? Making it plain, and it surely it unfolds in our destiny and our purpose. So I thought, when you said that, I said, oh, she wrote it down. That was a wrap. when you wrote that down, that was a wrap. It was so. It was in stone. And your job is to follow it.
Yes, and I was just about to say something on that. That's the key that I've learned throughout this process is being bold enough to actually follow what was written on that piece of paper.
That's
Because
right.
I could have easily said, oh, that was just, a journal entry that day. And I mean, I'll see where it goes, but I'm not really going to be intentional about it. I was just, maybe dreaming that day, but no, we can be intentional about those visions that we are given from God. We can know that, yeah, I may not be able to see I had no idea we would be here today talking about Elevate Nation based on a word, just the word that I wrote down in a journal 6-7 months ago. But it was because I believed that vision would actually come to life. And I think that belief and just confidence in knowing that, yeah, we may not be able to see every single piece at the moment. If we just continue to persevere and endure through the process, we'll get to the place that he wants the fruit to be seen. And that is something that I definitely learned throughout this process.
Yeah, the process. I'm glad you mentioned that, the process. I was actually talking to a close friend of mine this morning, and he said something to me about, in terms of relationships, the generation that we're in now, the generation that's coming up now, don't take the time to develop relationships, and so they're not as solid as when we were growing up, because everything is quick, fast, and in a hurry. So the process is very important in every facet of our lives, from relationships to our purpose. It's a process, and we don't just, automatically walk into it. Even if we think we are, we're not.
Yeah.
God has prepared us for the journey.
Absolutely.
And all those steps we've been taking along the way, they have prepared us for this moment in this season. And I really believe with all of me, everything that God has been telling me, and I know from you too, this is it. And you either sink or swim, people, young people. Stop sitting on those gifts and your purpose and calling.
Right. That's so good.
Crystal, I know you were saying something about young ladies. Okay. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Okay. Yes, I am, because that is an area that needs to be addressed. In your opinion, what are you seeing that our young ladies need or being challenged with every day? I know you said you mentioned relationships and things like that, but in your experience, what are you seeing our young people, young ladies actually needing?
Such a great question. So I actually volunteer with my church, Passion City Church, here in Atlanta, and I lead a group of 9th grade girls, and I also mentor a group of 7th graders. So just based on, that experience that I've had, and that ability to journey through life with them, I do see, areas of focus being self-confidence. Being able to know who they are in their identity and stand firm in that, so that they aren't persuaded to try to be someone different than the person that they were created to be. So I think that one is top of mind right now. And that's something that I pray for them on and pray with them on, for them to be able to look in the mirror every single day and speak those positive affirmations about themselves in the mirror while they're brushing their teeth. I am good enough. I am boldly made. I am beautifully
made.
I'm uniquely made. I am enabled. I'm equipped. I'm royalty. I am a child of God. And that right there, if I can just get them to say it on a daily basis and they start to believe it, I think that's one area of focus that I would say, I could see our younger generation benefiting from for sure.
Crystal, I'm loving this conversation. I don't mean to take over the interview because I try not to. But you and I are connecting on so many levels here. I love deeper conversations that can get down in nitty gritty. But when you said your main focus is making sure that our young ladies know who they are and accepting who they are, how about at the beginning of this school year when I asked God what you want me to teach about? He said identity. Identity, okay? And so not only with our young ladies, a lot of our young boys don't know who they are.
Yes,
so, that causes some major issues. And so when you said that, I said, oh, this is God telling me again. And I began to develop units for the beginning of the school year. And my son produced a song called Uniquely Made. And
I have full body chills. Just let you know.
and the young lady who sings it, Airy Soul, she actually came to sing a little bit of it to my students one day, even before this happened. This was last year. But the song talks about how beautiful you are. You're uniquely made. You don't have to be like anybody else. There shouldn't be any shame. And so we are fearfully and we are wonderfully made. And if you know that, you don't have to be envious of anyone. I can't say it's anybody I'm envious of. I really cannot.
Right.
You don't have
because we all have our own
gifts and call. You don't have to, down yourself.
Yes.
You are uniquely made. And then being able to accept people who are different from you is major. So how do you deal with that?
Say it one more time.
How do you deal with that? Teaching people to accept ideas and people who are different from you. You don't have to agree, but being able to find the beauty in other people, even if they're not like you.
Yes. So actually with Elevate Nation, and I can give just a little bit of background on that before I talk about this next piece, just so that you have the context. But so Elevate Nation, our mission is to motivate and empower each other to grow spiritually, mentally, and physically. We do that during a 45-minute Zumba class by positive affirmations and inspiring each other. So you hear that each other coming up over and over again. So I think that's also speaking to your question on how do you get others to see that they can actually pour into other people's talents and gifts and purpose, because we give each other an opportunity or the space to be ourselves, and we celebrate each other, and we see that whatever so-and-so is doing, that is uniquely for them. Whatever Crystal's doing, that's uniquely for her. And we talk about how we can motivate each other to keep striving to get better and better at what we have created. So I think it's important to teach people how to celebrate and how to compliment and how to say, hey, well done, good job. And we focused on that last month with Elevate Nation. So we have what we call a rhythm of the month, and the rhythm last month was positive affirmations and encouraging others. So we talked about ways that we could share those encouraging words with each other. So we focused on that for an entire week. And you could see the transformation, students starting to actually say, hey, you did a great job at that, or that outfit you wore yesterday, that was rocking. And those types of compliments and encouraging words go so far. And when you can move yourself out of the way, it's so easy.
Yes.
It's so easy.
Yes. I often think about how I feel when someone says, it could be just as simple as, thank you for saying that to me, or, you know, you make me feel good coming into the room, or whatever. Everybody, I believe God designed us to want to hear some type of affirmation. And so if you're the person that keeps affirmation from people and you don't want to tell somebody did a good job, shame on you. And I say that because you know you need it. You would be lying. You would be lying if you said, I don't need nobody to tell me I'm doing. Yes, you do. Even God wants our praise and worship. And so if he wants it, he created us in his image. We want it too. So don't tell that lie that you don't need any affirmation. Yes, you do. But there are people who purposely keep it. So they don't want people to grow. They don't want people to feel good. They want to hold a thumb on it. You're the oppressor if you're doing it.
Listen, I think too that comes from fear.
Yeah,
I think that comes from a fear of, you know, not being able to excel in whatever you got going on. So if I share this affirmation, if I tell you good job, I think I may be losing something for myself. So I'm just going to keep it in because I don't want you to get ahead and I stay back. But the key
mentality.
Right. And the key is, regardless, we're both still in our own lane and we're both going to excel in our purpose. So it doesn't matter. You can tell me good job and you still can be successful.
That's right. But I you know, and I'm just going to say this. You know, I know a lot of different nationalities may be watching, but remember, this is raw, unedited talk. I like real talk now.
I'm here for
it. African American. I'm just gonna be right frank with you.
Be real.
We have a problem with that. We have a problem on every economic status of people supporting each other wholeheartedly, genuinely, without the wrong motive. It doesn't always have to be. If I do it, it's got to be something in it for me.
Right.
When are you gonna give compliment, support, encourage without looking for it in return all the time? Come on, people.
Yeah, and I think that it's a different perspective that we need to have on the definition of community. We say we are the Black community, but let's take it a step further. And how can we really live out that Black community in a way in which we can literally be there for each other, support each other, lift each other up, support each other's businesses without feeling that someone else is going to take away from your pocket. It's not going to happen. It's okay as long as you are doing what you have been called to do.
And everything, I think a lot of people feel like if I do something for you, I want money or I want something back. And so you hold back on what you can give because you think somebody's trying to hoodwink you or whatever they call it. But you cut your own blessings. You know, you do that. Now, if you give out of your heart, the right motive, it's on that other, once you release it, it's on that. If that other person doesn't do the right thing by it, it's on them. You have done what you, you've done what you're supposed to do. So, you know, I'm just saying, come on, people. And I, you know, especially our young people, I want to really reach out to them so they don't fall into these traditional, unhealthy ways that some of our older people have gravitated to over the years, especially my generation. Some of us, you know, we want to hold back, but come on, young people, old people, all of us, we've got to, like you say, build that sense of community again so that we can grow. Now,
and knowing that you, younger generation, also have the power to change something that may have been the same for generation after generation, but you have the power to break a curse, a generational curse. You have the power to be the differentiator in the family and know that you can, like, it's there. So just being confident in your ability to change the trajectory of where things may have been in the past, but taking it, on a different path, that's even better. So I think that's something else that the younger generation should definitely feel confident about.
So, Crystal, would you agree? Even though most of what I'm seeing from you is people think, well, body work, getting our bodies healthy, but you're actually focusing on the whole being, the whole person, mind, body, and spirit, getting that in line, because I'm sure you figured it out by now. We need all of it. We need all of it. We are three in one, just like our Creator. And so our mind, body, and spirit need to be well so that we can, thrive. So give me some other things that you're doing to for the wellness of, let's just take all three: the wellness of body, what you're doing, the wellness of mind, and the wellness of spirit. What are you doing specifically to address those issues?
Absolutely. Yes. And are we just saying Crystal personally, or are we doing
for
it?
Others? What are you doing for others that address those issues?
Yep. So I'd say mentally, just encouraging others to shift their perspective. So this week we've been focused on the power of taking care of today. And that has been such an amazing lesson here at Elevate Nation, because we talk about shifting our perspective. As soon as a bad thought tries to creep in our minds, we shift immediately. We say, whoa, hold up, let's, we're not even gonna go there today. And we shift to something positive. So mentally, we're making those turns from negative to positive thinking on things that are admirable, that are praiseworthy, that bring us joy, that make us smile. We're making those shifts mentally. So I'd say helping my students understand that they have the power to change the narrative in the moment is something that I really love encouraging them to do. Spiritually, we have what we call an Elevate Nation prayer box. And this box is set up at every single class, and you have a choice. I give everyone the option to drop your prayer requests in the box before you leave. You can stop by the table, write it down, drop it in the box. And I pray over these prayer requests in my devotional time every single day. And we are lifting the Elevate Nation students up in prayer. So spiritually, that's a way that we are able to connect, and they can see that prayer is something that we definitely prioritize here at Elevate Nation. Physically, we're working out. We got a good workout. This is
I got to get on in there. I told you, I said, Lord, now that things are settling down for me, this has been a racy 2 weeks, which I told you about earlier, but now that that's settling down, I've got to get in the swing of moving my body a little more.
I would love for you to join us. And this is a 45-minute exhilarating Zumba class. We have different genres of music, from hip hop to rock, merengue, cumbia, salsa, you name it, gospel. We're throwing it all in there. So you're going to get a great experience with some upbeat music for 45 minutes. And we're going to burn some calories today. I looked at my watch. I looked at my watch today, and from today's class this morning, we had about 300 calories in the 45-minute session. So it's good cardio, but that's how we're staying physically fit here at Elevate Nation.
I mean, that is amazing. It's wonderful to see melanated people do something to to improve their whole being. I love it. So let me ask you, Crystal, can you share a way to get involved in Elevate Nation? How to contact you?
Absolutely. So a couple things. Website, you can check my schedule out there, learn a little bit more about Elevate Nation at theelevatenation.com. And again, that's theelevatenation.com. And I will be posting my schedule for each month on there. So you can see next week, you'll be able to see the schedule for October. So that'll be the Zumba schedule posted there. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at The Elevate Nation. So that's just at The Elevate Nation. And I would love for you to check out our social media, see what's going on. Here's a place where you can learn more about those affirmations that I spoke about today. Also, we do have some merch I would love to show really quickly. So Elevate Nation Journal, this is a place where I encourage our students to write those affirmations down where they can see it. It comes with the pen, so check that out. You can get those on the website as well. And then we also have an Elevate Nation t-shirt. I wore one that, yes, Marcy got her t-shirt, so make sure you get the t-shirt. It's also on the website at theelevatenation.com, and definitely check us out and be encouraged. We would love to see you.
Crystal, I'm also going to place your website or whatever on Integrative Arts Creations website, so you'll be able to go there, integrativeartscreations.com. Give me about a week, y'all. This is, you know, get it up there. Yeah, like I said, I'm coming down from some stuff that I've been dealing with this week, but I will get her information posted there as well, so that you'll be able to find it easily. Let's support each other now. Come on, and I heard a minister say recently, you know, you have three kinds of supporters. One, those who are donators. They donate financially, okay? They donate financially to what you're doing. You have those who are doors. They open the door for you to walk into the next thing. And Lord, it just slipped my mind, the third one. But those two alone are very powerful. If you cannot give financially, open a door for Crystal. Or whoever it is. Post it on your website once you get there and see her, what she's doing. Post it. And I'm going to tell you now, anybody that is on this platform here, you best believe you can sow into whatever they're doing. Okay? It's just not anybody. You can sow into it.
And we do have a donate link that comes up on the homepage on the website. So I will say that is there. So appreciate it in advance.
Yeah, you've got to, in order for you to get to the next level, sometimes God is asking, what have you done for somebody else?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And it doesn't always, like I say, have to be financial. I'm sure, Crystal, do you have a little spot on there where they can drop you a line of encouragement on your website?
That would be amazing. I do have some testimonials on the website, but let me give my email address, and I would love to receive that as well. So the email address, if you would like to email me, is teamelevatenation@gmail.com. So it's just teamelevatenation@gmail.com. And those words of encouragement mean the world to me, because I also have to stay encouraged in order to encourage other people. Yes. So I appreciate those words. Thank you so much.
I just said that to a friend yesterday. I think the same thing. I said, I'm always the one listening to people, encouraging, but sometimes I need it too. We all need it. We need it, people. And so out there, young people who are listening, even though we got some people who are my age and older listening, because they've sent me messages about these talk shows, but just let's support each other. My God, let's support each
And
other.
I will say,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, for the Zumba class, we have all age ranges. So I'd say we've seen from 25 to 65 and maybe even older, but everybody has been coming to class. So it doesn't matter. It's not like a particular age range. So everybody is welcome, and beginners or advanced dancers, it doesn't matter. You will still feel like you're having a good experience. So don't worry about that.
Yes. So I just, Crystal, I am so proud of you. So you can see she's so bubbly. She's a sweet spirit. She really is. I'm not saying that she is a sweet. I'm not just saying it. She is really a sweet spirit. And so I encourage you not, support her, but everybody you've seen in this, on this talk show platform, go and support them in some kind of way. You'll be blessed for it. Believe me, I'm telling you what I know. You'll be blessed for it. And so, Crystal, I thank you so very much for joining us today. You and I are going to connect to do some other things to help our community.
I love that.
Grow for the better, because part of this is impacting the world. You know
what? I'm glad you brought that back up, because when you said it in the beginning, I jotted it down here, stories that transform the world. That is so powerful. Like, I think when you said it, I was just like, oh my goodness, because that's the power that people's stories have. Yeah. And I was just talking about this the other day with someone. I said, once people realize that regardless of how their story took place or the details or, how certain things happened, once they realize that it still has the power to change the world, and by sharing it, you never know who you're going to help out of their story or get to a point where they feel comfortable sharing their story. And that's how you start to transform lives. That's how you start to transform the world, by believing that your story has that power.
And it does.
That's it. Yes.
Nothing God does is wasted.
Yes.
Nothing. Crystal, you don't be out here forever, guys. I'm going to stay over here so we can continue, so we don't have to hold people too long. But just know that nothing God does is wasted. The things that you think are bad, that's not wasted, but you have to get over the inhibitions you have in sharing it so somebody else can be healed. In Christ, you are a new creature. And so you don't have to stay back there. What you did, we all have done some stuff that we're not proud of. Okay? Absolutely. And God knew it long before we were even formed in our mother's womb. He knew what we were going to do and what we still going to do. But thank God for his mercy and grace that we are able to even still be here and share, so that other people won't think they're in this by themselves, which is the connecting point. That's why we're to connect.
Yes.
Crystal, I love you, girl. Thank you so much. And if anybody wants to join one of these discussion platforms, you may reach out to me by filling out one of the email forms on integrativeartscreations.com website, or you may email me at integrativeartscreations@att.net. Okay. Thank you so much, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Crystal.